Good morning. Okay, qualifiers and givens. I'm gonna cover an awful lot of ground using very little data, with the hope that anybody who watches this video understands that if I say one sentence, can you take that one sentence and know all the other data that is connected to that one sentence? That's like a dynamically linked library of far more information that I don't need to give you because you already have it in your memory. Okay? So what I wanted to cover and make sure I got it in, I got about 2.4 gigabytes of data in memory that I can use on this phone to get this out. I ran out of storage on my last one. But anyway, what I wanted to do was cover programming. Okay? That's a big, big subject. Okay? So I'm going to say some things, and I'm hoping that you sort of get it without any real explanation. That's why I have two words that I use: qualifiers and givens. Givens means I already know you already have all the information, so it's not necessary for me to provide it. I'm taking more time and space in which to do it. So sometimes I'm just going to say a sentence and hope that you get it. Okay? Function. Okay? Now, when you get into computer programming, we get into functions. Functions are rule-driven. Rule-driven means this is how we do these things. Okay? That's the same thing as a specification. Okay? So when you design a program, any kind of program that you want to run, a program app, doesn't matter. How big is your computer? It starts with a function. Just like when I was a small child, I looked in the mirror. What's my function? The second question I ask myself is, well, what is it that gives you the greatest meaning? To be alive in living spirit. What love is. Okay? That means as living spirit, we live by one rule. That's it. Which is what love is. Now, when you're living by one rule, that's all you need. Now I know what my function is. Spread as much light and love throughout the universe, wherever we find ourselves, because wherever we find ourselves in a place in which we're experiencing something that is lower in speed than what we are, we got to restore it. Because that's the universe that we live in, because we use love to create what it is that we experience in now time. So we're always in now time. So we only live by one rule. That's it. We don't run on memory. We don't need it. Because the speed at which we're experiencing who we are means that the frame rates of what we're experiencing is what we experience. We don't experience all their shit. Now we're in the rules. I'm not supposed to say that word. Well, who has the authority to tell me on what language I want to use? Okay? So that means that I like to use the word fuck, because you understand when I say that word, the emphasis that is put on it. Because you can get into fuck and duck and luck and puck. Hey, they sound the same, and you can use those words, but you can't say fuck. Well, who gives you the authority to tell me what I'm going to say in order to communicate with somebody else? That's their language, not my language. My language is language of the heart, which is what love is, which is what light is, which is a single rule. So they have rules that they give you about everything you're supposed to be doing. And guess what you do with those rules? You put them in memory, which means they live by a lot of rules. And if you don't think so, go to any law library. These beings live by a lot of rules. You know why they live by a lot of rules? Because they don't know how to live by the first rule, which is love is the law. So if they were living by one law, then you don't need a legislature, do you? Nope. You don't need a political system, do you? Nope. Well, then why don't you just trash all that garbage? Because what you essentially have is somebody who says, listen, I'm a mayor. I want to be your mayor. I want to lead you. I want to be able to do a function. Okay, well, what is your function, mayor? Well, I'm supposed to be protecting your interests because you're hiring me to do a job for you. Oh, really? So you're working for me? Yeah, because you're paying me. Okay, well, this is how it is. I live by one rule, which is what love is. If you're going to be the mayor, then you need to be operating on what love is in order to be equal to what I am. So if you're not running what love is, which is the first law, which is the law on this planet, then you don't have any authority on this planet. You get it? So that means that the political system is an alien system. Yes. And the proof of that is because the Indians live in nature. We're always with the goddess, the great living spirit of this planet. Because everything that she does, she gives us for free. She doesn't charge us for anything. Which is why we don't charge anything to you for what it is that we give you, which comes free. Which is what love is. Okay? That's why this is a classroom in the Milky Way University campus system. Is to learn through her, through what she does with us, by giving us free energy. So when you've learned to be what free energy is, because you're giving away all your electrons, okay, then you are in alignment with the teacher in this classroom. It means that you learned how to be an energy service provider, because that's what she is. So classrooms are set up to be a self-sustaining power station, where you're not needing to consume energy from others in order to be what it is you're aware of, which is yourself. So if I want to harvest your energy because I can't generate any light and love of my own, then where am I going to get a source of energy I can feed on and store? Us. Which is why they killed off all the clan mothers. Because they were the law on this planet. Because we honor the matriarch, the birth giver. Because the first sound vibration, okay, in a sound harmonic universe, that a soul comes into the heart of a birth giver is from its mother. So the goddess in this planet is my spiritual mother, okay, because I love her. So that's why when I was a child, I'm observing by reading newspapers and everything they throw at me of who they are. Well, I'm not what they are. Okay? I'm always with her, not with them. That's why we live in nature. So we can be with her because she is a big, powerful spirit. So when I am in living spirit, and I'm out with a wolf spirit, a bear spirit, the spirit in a lion, the spirit in a horse, the spirit in a dog, I'm living in a spiritual world in nature, which is the natural world, which is a spiritual world. Because living spirit that is in nature with other spirits, we are in alignment with each other. So I thought that when you think of input, output, and you think of function, and what the function is for memory, it is to put into memory what it is that we do in the future. Okay? So everything that they present us, like, for example, that movie called Contagion. Okay? I saw that with Bill O'Reilly, who used to be on Fox News. He's just another asset for the other side. Okay? He's like what I call status quo. He wants to keep you in the same program. Okay? You ever hear him ever talk about love? Okay? So a lot of these guys, that because they realize that things are changing very fast, they are accelerating at a very fast rate. Yes, they are. The energy is speeding up, not the time clock. Because there's a lot of light in here, because I followed it all. I was looking at the stereo sound library at U.S. Navy, and I was paying attention to everything that Patty Broussard was saying, so I knew it was the truth. Because I was supposed to meet her at a very specific time. And when I talk about a very specific time, I mean a very specific time. Because everything is linked on a timeline. So I realized that all the data that she has, I'm supposed to know it at the exact time I'm supposed to know it. So I take that information, which helps me fill in all the other spaces, which now becomes a larger composite from which I share that information to as many places and as many people as I possibly can, which helps them to fill in the spaces that they have, because they're looking at the underlying causality to put the puzzle together themselves, because they're realizing that the change, the rate of change in which things are happening and changing is speeding up, which means bye. That old program is going bye-bye, which is the same thing as removing the bullies. Obey your master. Obey your master. Obey your master. That's all fear-based programming. That's all rule-based functions. And all those functions and all those rules, okay, are written into our memory. And we operate on those rules, which is a function, to carry out their tasks for them. Now we become a convenient source of labor in which to fill all of their billets, which means all of the occupational codes, for example, that you will see in the Department of Labor. Go look at how many job descriptions and codes they have of jobs they're ready to start plugging in there with everybody that's going through their public school system as a human resources training module, if you will, in which training people in order for them to fill jobs for them starts early, obviously. Okay? Those aren't the kind of schools that we run. Okay? The classrooms that we set up are planet ships. That's what this is, a planet ship. It's a classroom. This is where souls come in here to learn. And the teacher in this classroom is Gaia. Okay? So I've always sort of realized you're going in the other way. I talked to an Apache the other day. And it's like, man, you're going in the opposite direction. You're going in reverse. Because what you learn through Earrh is how to go faster. The more electrons you're given away, the more you keep getting. So it's like, man, I'm feeding myself. That's right. Which means we already have everything that we have. We don't need any energy from anybody. That allows us to be a powerful lighthouse. Look how big her lighthouse is. Yeah, I want to be as big and powerful like you, girl. Now I'm free to create my own biosphere. Okay? She's not trying to control you. Any of us. She's the one that's providing everybody all the energy that you could possibly imagine, have as much fun as you can imagine down here. And that's why when I was a child, thank you very much, I can go surfing on your waves, girl. I'm riding with her. So anyway, it goes back. I've said this on a lot of comments and on my Facebook page. What's your identity? What's our identity? Go look in the mirror. I had to remind a guy this morning that was pushing around a little cart getting on a bus. He's saying, I want to sit there. When the bus driver was already saying nobody can sit there because of the rules. Remember, everything is rule-driven because that's its function, is to control you, which is to control our behavior. That's a program. People are programmed to be slaves. That's its function. That's a computer function, because you're in a computer. You're like a computer terminal. Because these avatars, I'm analog. That allows me to basically, how do I put it, accommodate the environment. So since I'm a high-frequency unit, okay, I want to be wherever the energy is always way the hell up. Okay? Like jumping into volcanoes, being around hot, living magma, which is creating a new island. Okay? Wow, new life. Wow. All the birds and everything that is there that you get to experience with. So anyway, I'll leave you with that because I'm going to run out of memory. I love you all. Have a great day.